Good morning, students. In chapter 13, Why Do We Fall Ill? Let us continue the topic Principles of Prevention. Students, we have already started the topic and I have explained you that prevention of disease is better than their cure. So, let us continue the topic and let us know more about that. Students, we have studied the principles of treatment, and what we have studied that deals with how to get rid of an infection in someone who is suffering from diseases. However, there are three limitations of this approach. The first one is that once someone has a disease, some of the body functions are damaged, may never recover completely. The second one is that the treatment will take time and the person who is suffering from disease is likely to be bedridden for some time, even if the proper treatment is provided. And the third is that the person suffering from disease, an infectious disease, can serve as a source, that means from where the disease is spread, from where the infection may spread to other people. So because of these reasons, prevention of diseases is better than their cure. But the question here arises, how can we prevent diseases? And students, for this there are two ways, one general and another specific ways to each disease. So let us study one by one. First, let me explain about the general ways of preventing infection. Now, when we talk about the general ways of preventing infection, for this, let us take example as for airborne diseases, for airborne microbes. We can prevent exposure by providing living conditions that are not overcrowded, that are well ventilated. Similarly, when we talk about waterborne microbe, the exposure can be prevented by providing safe drinking water that is not contaminated, by treating the water to kill the microbial contamination. And if we talk about the vector-borne infection, for vector-borne infection, the exposure to microbes can be prevented by providing clean environment, that is the clean surrounding, no garbage collection, proper disposal of garbage, no stagnant water, proper drainage system, and these all conditions help just preventing exposure to microbes, as these conditions will not allow the growth of vectors. For example, you can take the mosquitoes, and the exposure to microbes can be prevented. But instance, these are the ways, but together with these, some other general principles are also there to prevent infection, that is to prevent infectious diseases. Here, students, we will talk about the immune system, and already we have discussed about the immune system, that is the system including certain cells, organs in the body that defends the body against infection. And we have studied that immune system is one of the important factor, is a major factor, plays a major role in determining the number of microbes surviving in the body. And we have also studied that if the number of infecting microbes is controlled, the effect of the diseases will be minor. So students, here one example is given, that normally we are faced, this is the example, this is the condition given in the book, in your textbook. So I'm reading that normally we are faced with the infection every day. If someone is suffering from a cold and cough in the class, it is likely that the children sitting around will be exposed to the infection. But the fact is that all of them do not actually suffer from the diseases. This is the fact, students, that if someone is having cold and cough, and all the people sitting around will be exposed, nearby will be exposed to the infection, but all of them do not actually suffer from the diseases. And the question is that why not? Why all of them not actually suffer from the diseases? So this is because the immune system of our body, which is normally fighting of microbes, and we should know that as other systems, other functions of other systems are going well in the body due to the proper availability of proper food and sufficient nourishment. So the function of immune system is also good. Is the immune system will function in a proper way if there is availability of sufficient and proper food, proper nourishment. But the functioning of the immune system will not be good if proper and sufficient nourishment and food is not there. So we can say that public hygiene is one basic key to the prevention of infectious diseases, and one of the basic principles of prevention of infectious disease is also the availability of proper and sufficient food for everyone. Friends, these are the general ways of preventing infection, but here one more ways, that is a specific way we have to study. So let us see what are the specific ways of preventing infection. This is related to the property of the immune system that fights off with the microbial infections. Friends, there is one example given in your textbook to understand this property. So let us see that example first. Let us try to understand the condition, that is the property of the immune system. The example is of smallpox, which is nowhere in the world these days, but as 100 years ago, smallpox epidemics was uncontrolled, and in such an epidemic, people used to be very afraid of coming near someone suffering from the disease, as they were afraid of catching the disease. However, there was one group of people who did not have this fear, and this was a group of people who had smallpox earlier and survived it. So in other words, it can be said that if one had smallpox once, there was no chance of having the disease, suffering from it again. And this happens because of the immune system. If the immune system first sees an infectious microbes, responds it, and then remembers it specifically, and the next time that particular microbe or its close relatives enter the body, the immune system responds much better, you can say, and this eliminates the infection even more quickly than the first time. And this is the basis of the principle of immunization. The principle of immunization is based on the property of memory of the immune system. Now, what is immunization? Immunization is the process by which the body develops resistance against pathogen. Develop immunity against pathogens through administration of specific vaccines. And the vaccination, that refers to the administration of any vaccine. The vaccination is the process of that refers to the administration of any vaccine. So students, immunization is the process by which body develops resistance, immunity against pathogens through administration of specific vaccines. Now, what are vaccines? Vaccines are the substances, or you can say the preparations that consist weakened or inactivated pathogens, or uh, some of the substances of the pathogens which help in protection against diseases, developing immunity. Students, many vaccines are now available for preventing infectious diseases, and that provide a disease specific means of prevention. There are vaccines against tetanus, diphtheria, whooping cough, measles, polio, etc. So, here, students, let me tell you once again that prevention of disease is better than their cure. The infectious diseases can be prevented by public health hygiene measures that reduce exposure to the infectious agent. Now, this much only for today's students. Revise the topic, complete your work, written work. Okay, thank you.